Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amelia, and today we're going to be starting off a brand new reading vlog, and you may notice by the length, but I want to try out a slightly longer format, and so this is going to be like a monthly reading vlog type of situation, where normally I would do like a week or a weekend, but last time I published a sort of longer reading vlog, you guys said you liked it, so here we are for the month of August. It is actually already August 7th. So this first one will be like 3 weeks, but after that, it will be monthly. So why don't we go ahead and talk about my TBR. So I'm currently reading Malazan book 3, Memories of Ice. I'm on page 380. This is I think about 900 pages. Yeah, pretty well and straight on 900 pages. One of my goals for this quarter was to read at least 2 more Malazan books. This is the first one of that. And then I also have House of Chains here. So I probably won't read this one in this vlog, but I definitely want to finish this first one. And then in terms of other books, I have a bunch of library holds. So in terms of audiobooks, I'm currently listening to John Green's The Anthropocene Reviewed. I'm 70% through that. I'm also partway through The Anatomy of Fascism by Robert O. Paxton. I have quite a bit of that left to go. I'm only 25% of the way through that, so still 8 hours on that. And I also have a third audiobook that is currently out, and that one is Under the Banner of Heaven by John Krakauer. That one is 13 hours long, and I have 0% through. I also have 3 books that are out currently from the library. One of them is due in 6 days, so I'm gonna guess that I'm probably not gonna get to it because these take a while to read. I think I've already been reading it for 3 or 4 or 5 days. But in terms of expiry order, I have A Memory Called Empire by Arkady Martine. That one is due in 6 days, like I said, so I don't know about that one. I also have She Who Knows by Nnedi Okorafor, sorry. That one's due in 7 days, so I also don't know. I probably should just go ahead and return Memory Called Empire and try to get to She Who Knows. We shall see. And then finally I have Ashes of Man by Christopher, I never know how to say his name. Ruccio? Christopher, my man Christopher. Ashes of Man. 12 days for that one. So maybe, but I think I might just return it and come back to it later because I'm not sure if I'm feeling that series. And then the only other main thing that I definitely want to read this month is book 5 of Dungeon Crawler Carl, which is The Butcher's Masquerade. I have been just tearing through this series. They're very like bingeable. I finished one and I'm like, I must have the next one now. But I think they're only up to 6 for released ones so far. So only have 1 more after this, although I'm pretty sure 7 comes out in like September, so, or maybe it's September next year. I don't know. I've made that mistake before with I don't know where it is. But yeah, I'm very excited about this one, and I kind of feel like I might let all my library holds lapse because I'm so excited to read this. I wanted to start it immediately, but I'm like, no, I must finish my current Malazan book first because I've been putting it off for so long and I simply need to do it. But I would say these are my 2 main priorities, and then we'll see what is still remaining from the library, and after that, I have no plans. It would be nice to knock a few books off my physical TBR. I want to make a rule where I have to read like 3 of my existing books for every book that I buy, and I just bought this, so that means I need to read 3 books before I can buy another one. So if I read this, and 1 other, then I can buy the next Carl book. Now we're thinking. But yeah, I think that is probably all I need to say for the intro. It's going to be kind of a busy month because Rory, my partner, is going to be moving here to Ottawa, so we have to arrange that. But other than that, the only thing I really have going on is running. That's my main hobby right now, running and reading. I have a race on Saturday. Maybe I'll take you with me. I don't know. Probably not, honestly. But okay, I'm gonna shut up now, and I will catch up with you when I have a reading update. on Memories of Ice. All right, I am finally done work. It is 4:30 and I do technically have quite a bit of time to read tonight as I worked from home today. So I saved time on the driving, and also normally I would run, but today is a rest day. So we have lots of time for reading Memories of Ice. My goal is to read like 200 pages, and that would put us up to about 500. Yeah, which would be over halfway. Well, actually I'm on 380, so 580, which I feel like would be like 2/3 of the way through. But I don't want to just read because, like I said, I do have a lot of time this evening, and I feel like 5 hours of reading would be, I would get bored. So I want to do, I think, some baking. I have macadamia nuts that have been hanging around since like last Christmas. So I want to make my chocolate macadamia nut cookies, but I ran out of flour. So we're gonna need to go out, get some flour, do some other errands. I always think it's good to get out of the house. Although it kind of looks like it is about to storm. So I might have to hurry up and go, or I might get stuck here. So let's go get some flour, and I need chapstick. And those are, I think, the only things. Yes, maybe, I don't know. Did not beat the storm. It started thundering about as soon as I walked outside, but we survived. I'm back now. I also did forget to take my butter out before I left, so I've like broken it up into little pieces, and hopefully that helps it get to room temperature slightly faster so that it's actually workable. But in the meantime, I think I'm going to put my dinner in the oven, maybe do a little bit of a reading, and yeah, maybe take my hair out so it dries faster. All right, I did mean to film making the cookies with you guys, but then I decided to be a good child and I called my mom. And anyway, you know how I said I was going to the grocery store because I needed flour? Yes? I already have flour. So now I have, I don't know, like 3 and a bit kilograms of flour, which I'll use it eventually, but this is not a big kitchen, so I swear this always happens to me. I looked too and I thought I didn't have it, but you know, here we are. Anyway, I just ate dinner. I actually put the cookie dough in the fridge while I was eating dinner, and I know they always say to chill cookie dough. I don't do that. I've literally never done it once in my life. Well, maybe once. So yeah, I chilled the cookie dough. I am an overachiever, so I'm just going to clean up the cookie making dishes real quick, and then you will at least be able to join me for making the cookie balls. And I think I'm going to talk a little bit about Malazan so far. That's the plan. All right, the dough has chilled. I don't know if it was a whole hour, but close enough. And the hair is up because it gets really hot in here with the oven on, and I apparently just decided I was going to live with that today. So it's time to get our cookies going. It's going to take more than one sheet, but I only have one sheet, so we got to do this one at a time. But I will probably only talk you through the first sheet. But as I said, I am on Malazan book 3, and so far I am enjoying it a lot more than book 2. However, my problem with book 2 was probably mostly that I had not read it, or it had been a long time since I read the first one, and I did end up actually watching a recap of the first one when I was I think I got 80 or so pages in, and I was like, I am simply too confused. I do not know what is happening. So I think that really took away from my experience of the second book, but I also like how this third book seems to be building towards one battle where we have a bunch of different parties, and they're all kind of coming together slowly, presumably, for this one battle. And that's a structure I really like in fantasy books, when you're following a bunch of different characters and they slowly come together for the climax of the book. I don't know, I just find that works really well, and I do tend to, I really like a dual POV or multi-POV book, and most fantasies honestly are. I feel like I'm more surprised when I read a book that is a single POV. I think probably the only ones I've read recently that are single POV are Murderbot, which is sci-fi, so I don't know if that counts, and Dungeon Crawler Carl, which is, it's fantasy. I don't know, it's lit RPG. Does that count as fantasy? It's like fantastical, so I feel like it does. But yeah, there are a lot of POVs in Malazan. And I also kind of feel like, I do feel like the pacing in this one is also slightly better. I just felt like for a lot of the last one, we weren't necessarily getting anywhere, which, I don't know. Malazan in general kind of tends to be a bit on the sort of wordy and meandering side. Like, you'll be going along and he's like, puts you in a character's head while they're trying to like think something that is like maybe to like them like profound, and sometimes I'm just like, okay, let's move it, and I'm like not always that invested. And I do think maybe there could have been some trimmage, but I also think that it's just kind of like the style, and falling over my house slippers, and that is kind of what people partially like about it. So maybe that's just a me problem. But yeah, my cookie tray is ready to go in, so I'm gonna pop that in there. I'm assuming it's probably gonna take 8 to 10 minutes to cook, although this oven is really janky and I have to put them like so high up, and I don't know, it cooks so weird, but you know, what can you do? But yeah, I think that is probably all I can really say about it at the moment. I don't want to obviously spoil it, and it is somehow already like 7 o'clock. And I said I wanted to read 200 pages. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but while my cookies bake, before I come back to do this second round, I'm gonna go and get started on some reading. It is now like 20 after 9, and I am nowhere close to my 200 pages that for some reason I thought I could read. I think I am around like 60. I'm at page 438 now, which, you know, at least I am like, oops, sorry about my hair. At least I am like past halfway, or about just like at halfway pretty much. Yeah, pretty well straight on halfway. So that's something, but I don't know. Something about these books and the writing style is just a little bit dense, I guess. It takes longer to get through, so it's been a bit of a journey. And I've also just been kind of feeling like not the most in the reading mood, but I persisted, and so I'll probably read for maybe like another hour or so, or just until I get tired. I've just migrated to bed now, so I would like to make it to 100 pages, so we shall see. Like I said, I think I have about 40 to go until we get there, and it's probably taken me over an hour to read that last 60, so hopefully we will do what we can. But yeah, this much left in Memories of Ice. Well, I survived the race. Home now, on the way home. It's hot. It's so early already. I thought I would show you guys what I've been working on. We ordered this thing recently. It's supposed to fit like the cat boxes and they like go back through here. So I've been working on putting this together. I was gonna put it together with you, but then I was on a call with my partner. So I'm like almost done. I think I just have these doors left, but oh my God, I have so much packaging now that I'm gonna have to take down to the dumpster, and the elevator doesn't go that far down. So it's gonna be something, but yeah, it'll be exciting. I also moved these cubes. I'll show you the whole finished setup after, but I won't show you myself right now because oh my God, it's so hot. Okay, here's an update on the space. I finished putting this together. Yep, that's already happened 3 times. I put my chair in this corner and the plant in that one. I don't know if I love it, but I'm also gonna have to change this all, probably. So it's just temporary, and I think for now, it's fine. Kind of cozy, you know, if you're sitting here, you can see the books, see the plants. I don't know, it's nice. But I did promise you guys a reading update. And so a reading update you shall get. I am now about 2/3 of the way through Malazan. I read my 100 pages yesterday, so very good. But it still has 300 odd pages, and I will say I am not entirely sure what is going to happen in those, because from where I am now, it seems like it would be a good place to end the book. So we shall see. And then in terms of audiobooks, with my bike ride to the race and during the race this morning, I listened to more of the Anthropocene Reviewed. Okay, I had to think about that for a second. And I think I now have just about an hour left. I'm very much enjoying that one. He's like kind of going through different things about the human world and reviewing them, which maybe sounds a little bit boring, but he's kind of like relating it back to stuff sometimes. And it's interesting. I'm enjoying it. But after that, I do have 2 other ones I'm gonna have to choose from, so we will have to discuss tomorrow. But I'm hoping to get to my 100 pages of Malazan today. I really want to finish it. Ow, again, seriously, I should clearly stop doing that. But yeah, that is the update. Hopefully I will soon be done and can start a new book. Hello friends, it's been like several days. I'm not exactly sure how many, maybe 3 or 4, since the last update. And I apologize if you can hear my fan, but it is about 1 million degrees, so it's staying on. And also the heat has melted my brain, so if I say something dumb, that's why. I don't have AC. But I have finally finished Memories of Ice. It took me 12 days to read this book, 12 days of reading, and it was very good, a very emotional ending. Sorry, I literally cannot think right now, so I will just briefly say that I finished it. It was good, and look how dark the pages are now. Like, if I show you an unread one, it looks like so grubby, and I swear my hands aren't that grubby, but the ink on the, did I already complain about this? I might have. The ink on these mass market paperbacks smudges, and also the paper is very rough. My poor thumb feels, I don't know, like it's been too much rubbed, which is such a first world problem. But now we can move on to The Butcher's Masquerade. I've been very excited to get to this. I've been holding myself back, saying I must finish Memories of Ice before I can start this one, and now I am finished. And this is also a thickie. It is the thickest of the Dungeon Crawler series so far. But it's still only like 700 pages, and they lose a lot of space in this book to like the formatting of the different like game things. So I am very excited to get into this, and kind of smells chemically. Not just like new book, but like, I don't know exactly. Like, I don't know. It still smells strongly though. That's a bit weird. Okay, I've been talking for far too long. I'll probably cut some of this. I'm sorry. Goodbye. pop in and give you a quick Butcher's Masquerade update before I forget. I almost did forget. You can tell because I'm in my workout kit already. But Butcher's Masquerade, I'm over halfway through, which is why I was like, I need to do an update before I totally finish the book. So I'm enjoying it so far. I do find it difficult to talk about books that are so far into a series without giving spoilers, and this is not that kind of video. I don't want to do spoilers. When I like finish the whole series, maybe I'll make like a spoiler video, but it's not all out yet, so I can't do that at the moment. But yes, enjoying it. We're very much continuing on the theme of like expanding the world that has been happening recently in the last like couple of books, like looking more at the universe beyond Earth and all the different like factions, political stances, and thoughts on the crawl, which I have been enjoying. I will say I would like more Donut. I feel that in the beginning it was very much like the Carl and Donut show, but recently it's very much become like Carl does things and Donut is kind of just like there. So I would like a little more reversal there, and I do feel like maybe we'll get it because it is kind of like aware of that, and it is something they talk about at the beginning specifically. And we did recently get a little bit of a scene where Donut is just like by herself kicking ass, and I would like more of that, you know, maybe because I don't know, I just do. But other than that, I think that's all I can really say without making it too spoilery. They are getting long, I will say, these books, and this is only one floor of the dungeon, and there are 18 floors of the dungeon, which leads me to wonder how many books there are going to be in this series. I'm going to assume not 18 because that would be insane. I'm going to continue this tonight. I don't think I'll finish it, but I'm probably going to finish it tomorrow, honestly. So tomorrow, probably, we will be picking our next book. And I have some good options here, so that should be fun. I'm going to go do my run now and make dinner. And then I think my only plan tonight is to read my book and hang out with my cats. So I'll see you later. Mimi, Mimi, Mimi. No, not the leaf. Hello, welcome back. It is now Friday evening. It is 7:47 and I'm gonna go out shortly with some friends, but I did just want to jump in to say that I did finish The Butcher's Masquerade, book 5 of Dungeon Crawler Carl. And I really enjoyed it. The ending, it was good. There was a little, in the last like page, there's this little tidbit that we get. We're like, oh, this is going to have consequences. So that'll be interesting to see how it plays out, but I feel like I've talked about this quite a bit. So I am just going to set it down. And before I leave, I want to pick my next read, and I'm choosing from my shelves. I did have one hold come in from the library, but I delayed it because I just want to read some of my own books. I have a few that I was kind of thinking of maybe might be good potential choices. One is Two Towers. Before you say you've read Lord of the Rings, yes I have, but I haven't read this copy of the Two Towers. And the way that I'm working with this system is that the physical edition copy of the book is what counts as like unread. I don't know if that made sense, but like if I haven't read this physical version of the book, then this book counts as unread on my shelf. I think that makes sense. So this is one option. I also have acquired, this was a little while ago that I got this, but is Tigana by Guy Gavriel Kay. And then, let's see, anything else? I think the last one that I want to also add to this choice is Mists of Avalon by Marion Zimmer Bradley. This is another one that I got used. I got both of these two used, and then this one was new. This is like an Arthurian book, so I'm gonna choose between these three. I think I'm gonna start with Two Towers. When I was looking at my book stats, I realized that it's been almost 2 years since I did my fellowship reread, so I really should do my Two Towers reread ASAP before I need to reread Fellowship again. I will be annotating this, not probably as much as I did Fellowship. I'll show you my edition of Fellowship here is kind of insane. So I don't know if I'm gonna go that hard, but we shall see. And now I realize I've been talking for 5 minutes already. So I'm gonna go get ready, go out, have fun, and I will see you tomorrow. Happy Saturday, friends. As you would have just seen, I set up my, whatchamacallit, annotation key for the 2 towers as I said I was going to do. I managed to find some nice purples, and I'm sticking with the same like categories that I used in Fellowship. I think it just makes sense if they match within the series. So the categories I have are foods, because Tolkien talks about that sometimes, and I think it's interesting. World building, prose, characterization, other, and poems and songs. So I am ready to go now. I don't think I'm gonna just start reading just yet, as I need to go pick up some stuff from IKEA. And the other main like plans for the weekend is my partner is moving up here next week. So I need to like clean and organize and make the apartment as like ready for him to do that as possible, because it's a small apartment and I'm having another person's worth of stuff in here. Hence the IKEA trip, I need like some storagey type situations. So yeah, the main plans for this weekend are get started on this, get the apartment prepped, I have a video I need to finish, and tomorrow is long run day. I want to go for a short run today as well. It kind of sounds like a lot, but I feel like it's actually not that crazy. So yeah, step 1, I think I'm gonna have a little bit of food, then IKEA, possibly some other errands. Then we'll come back here. And it's supposed to be hot today, so I'm probably gonna go for a run in the evening. So we'll probably focus on reading and finishing the video and cleaning the apartment. So like 75% of the tasks. But yeah, that's the plan. Okay, it has been, I don't know, maybe like 5 days since I did an update. Last I updated, I was like just about to start 2 towers. And in terms of a reading update, I have not gotten very far at all. I have read 2 chapters. I'm on page, okay, so the pages in these editions are numbered based on the assumption that it's all one book, as Tolkien intended. So I'm on page 444, but we also started on page, what was the first page number we got here? 414. So I've read like 30 pages, and you know, I've got a decent number of annotations so far. There's always so many like good bits in Tolkien's writing, and I am worried that I will run out of stickies. I just thought I would do a quick update, and also I'm getting on a train tonight going back to Hamilton to get Rory and move him up here. So I'll have like 5-ish hours, depending on how many freight trains we have to wait for, because we share the lines in this country. Love that. Yeah, that is the plan today, is hopefully to get a huge chunk through this. I'm also probably gonna bring my reading journal on the train because I am very behind. And I will see you when we are getting on the train to start our readathon. Also, please enjoy little baby Mimi over here. I'm gonna miss her so much. It's only gonna be 2 days, but I'm gonna miss her. I do have somebody coming to look after her, don't worry, I'm not abandoning her by herself. And Gemma's somewhere, but okay. I will see you when I have something to show you. Alright friends, it is now the 2nd of September. If my voice sounds kind of fucked, I have been a little bit sick. Unfortunately, there's not much I can do about that. It is time to just quickly wrap up this vlog. I honestly don't have that much to go through because I only finished 3 books this month. The first of which was Memories of Ice, which I really enjoyed. It brought us back to the characters. Oh, I feel like my voice sounds worse today than it did when I was like more sick. It takes a lot of extra energy to talk. It brought us back with the characters that we were with in the first book for the most part. We had some pretty dramatic battle scenes, which I very much enjoyed, and a few pretty good touching character moments. He's pretty good at doing those, even in like a single book, but the fact that that book is like as long as sometimes
It could be as long as many as 3 books. This is 900 pages. So for a fantasy book, it's just like probably a little bit longer than average. I feel like the average fantasy book is like 500 to 800 pages, which is a huge range, not that I say that. But yes, very much enjoyed this one. It is probably somewhere in the 4 to 5 star range. I haven't sat down and actually thought about the rating just yet. The next book that I finished was The Anthropocene Reviewed by John Green, which was a nonfiction that I listened to on audiobook. Another one that I really enjoyed. I feel like I would benefit maybe from listening to it again. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people thought it was a lot harder hitting than I thought it was. I thought it was really enjoyable, and I liked the way he kind of was able to link some stuff back, you know, some more trivial stuff to more hard-hitting stuff. But I feel like I hear people talking about it and like raving, and I did really enjoy it. The division of it into like different subjects really helps you get through it, but I wouldn't say it was like 5 stars probably. And then finally, I also read The Butcher's Masquerade, which is DCC book number 5, and I did really enjoy this. However, if you have seen the other books, you will be aware that this is getting quite long. For example, this is the first book, so this is like nigh on twice as long, and the one that comes after this, Eye of the Bedlam Bride, is even longer still. And I do just like, as much as I did enjoy my time reading this book, the page creep that often happens in series is definitely happening, and I do think that in this case we could have trimmed like a decent chunk, at least 50 pages in places, just by like tightening things up a bit. Sometimes he spends a really long time describing items or like having them in the chat. Like for example, like if we look at this page from here to here, well, and even starting on this page is like an item description or something, and this is another one with like a whole half page. And I do just think that these could have been tightened up a lot, because well, they're mostly, a lot of them are just taken up by making some sort of joke, which I get that they're supposed to be sort of humorous in this series, but I think you can make jokes without spending a whole page to make it sometimes, especially when it's not involving the actual characters. And the humor in this is relatively like elementary. And so yeah, that was a problem. And then I also felt like some of the boss battles were just over so quickly and seemed to be like so low effort. Like even the one where like Carl gets like pretty close to dying, it just still was over so quickly, and it just, I don't know, it didn't have, for all the build up, the like boss battles just didn't quite hit. Like they weren't as climactic as it felt like it should be. It felt like it was too easy for them. And I also wanted more Donut. This one was very much like Carl talking to people, Carl making plans, Donut gets left out of the equation. And one of the parts that I really enjoyed was when Donut was by herself, because Carl was on a show, and she got the chance to shine, and we could see what she's really capable of, and Carl's just kind of almost getting in the way. He's a little bit annoying. I mean, he's always been a little bit annoying, but the author really feels like the author is indulging him in this one. I'm like, okay, we need more Donut, because Carl is like Carl. And finally, I am still working on, here's my bookmark. I'm still working on Two Towers. I don't know, I've just been in a little bit of a reading slump, I guess, and I haven't been super motivated to read this book, so it's been slow going. I think I had about 100 pages left at the end of the month. Now I think I have about 70, so I'm making my way through, still doing my annotating. I do find it very satisfying when it like fills up with the tabs and they're all like the different pretty colors. Although I think I need to divide some of my categories down further, because I think already out of the one color that I was using for prose. But yeah, that is, I think, all that I need to say to wrap up this vlog. We are moving into September now, very exciting, getting into the fall season. I know the beginning of September is not technically fall, but the temperature has come down a lot already, so I'm calling it fall, autumn, whatever. So yeah, that is all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.